Welcome back to UMass Sports Weekly. Before we get going with our baseball segment, we're going to go through our trivia question that we had last week. We had a couple responses, and we had a correct answer from, we're going to wait for that to come up there, a correct answer from our buddy, and this was the question. It was, how many years in a row has UMass Women's Lacrosse won their conference? As you see, that Twitter handle is a little messed up there. The Women's Lacrosse has a just UMass Lacrosse Twitter handle. So Max Howe, he guessed A for this question. And as you see, we had a little miscommunication there. We got back to him and we let him know that it wasn't men's lacrosse, it was women's lacrosse. And then he nailed it with C when we lost to Temple in 2008. So Max, great job on those questions. You had men's and women's lacrosse, so thank you for being another expert despite John Anderson. I guess we got some other experts out there for UMass Lacrosse, and he nailed it. So thank you for your response, Max. And now we're going to get right into it, and we're here for the UMass baseball segment. The team's 5-10, not having the best year, but definitely a solid year for Coach Stone and the boys. So what is the team doing so wrong? And we've lost 2 in a row to GW, so what's been going so wrong as of late, Tommy?
Well, as of late, like we've talked about previously, it's going to be pitching. I mean, we've had some positives. Yesterday was opening day in the MLB. The sun was shining, birds are chirping, Jesus is arisen. It's great. Everything's great. But, when it comes to pitching, again, we just haven't had the starting pitching there. This weekend, if our wonderful graphics guy, Jamie Blendon, can show us the results from the GW games, UMass really struggled. They won the first game 7-6. Our favorite left-hander, Connor LeBlanc, pitched. Yep. LeBlanc gave up 5 runs in 8 innings of work, walked a couple, had more strikeouts, which is good. It was a nice win, but, you'd like to see him give up less runs. Then you saw the 3-2 loss, which is the one I'd like to get into. We have Ryan Maloney, who has been the sensation of UMass, if you really want to call him that. Maloney pitched a complete game, his first ever. He gave up 3 runs, only 2 earned. And, this is the one game in the series where UMass's offense didn't come to play. This is the one game also where pitching was solid. Maloney, again, has been just a stalwart, a great pitcher this season, and somebody the team could lean on. And then we get into the Andrew Grant saga, which has been one of my favorite epics of this year. I have the graphic right here. Andrew Grant, I'm going to read this off to you. 7 innings pitched. Not bad. 6 innings pitched, not bad. 7 hits, 6 runs, 4 earned, 3 walks. Putting too many guys on base, giving too many free passes, and giving up way too many runs. The starting pitching hasn't been there. And, I'm going to keep raving about Maloney the way we raved about Henry Dill when he first hit the scene. Hopefully he has a better fate than Henry Dill, but I digress. Either way, pitching has to improve. Maloney is someone you can lean on. LeBlanc, like we've seen, can have success, but, they need a 3rd and 4th starter. And right now, Andrew Grant's not that person.
Well, that's the problem. There really hasn't been any depth in this pitching rotation at all. Obviously, you pointed out the Maloney success, but that's going to be tough to keep going because he's a young guy and he's shown great success. But we saw what happened.
Yeah.
We saw what happened with the real Dill. So, but we did see 2.
He was a real sour Dill.
A real sour Dill is correct. But we saw 2 home runs from UMass, which you can make a couple jokes about that because we haven't seen many home runs in the past from this team. So what can you say about this? It's pretty surprising we saw 2 home runs in one weekend from UMass.
Well, believe it or not, we saw 2 home runs from underclassmen, which is, really great. Like we talked about, Coach Stone usually has his 6 stalwarts in the lineup,
yep.
6 guys that usually play. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the home runs were hit by Selby and Campbell. I think I may be incorrect on that one. I'm sorry. But, it's good to see UMass have a power stroke, which is nice. The power is good. We've said the hitting has been solid this year. I mean, you need timely hitting, and UMass has provided it in some instances. Obviously, the 2 home runs, 2 solo home runs came in an 8-2 loss, which it's not great. But the power stroke is nice. I still think that the hitting has been there, and I still think that the team can really lean on hitting as a strong point for them this year.
Well, that's crazy to think that we could lean on hitting, but that means the pitching is bad, and you noted that Andrew Grant has been bad. So you are going to answer this question, how do we fix Andrew Grant? I mean, Do we need to bring a doctor in or something? I don't know what's going on, but how do we fix this guy? You noted his game this weekend. How do we fix Mr. Andrew Grant?
Well, Mr. Andrew Grant, I'm sure he's a great guy. I think, I honestly think it's a confidence thing. He's a college kid. He's young, right? With a lot of pitchers. You've seen it with Clay Buchholz and John Lester for you Red Sox fans. I mean, back when the Red Sox won the World Series in 2013, they gave Lester a week off before the All-Star break. He got that rest. He was lights out the rest of the season. Buchholz, they gave him the rest of that season off, pitched great in the playoffs. I think Grant maybe needs to take a game or two off, needs to maybe pitch out of the bullpen, maybe humble a little, but also let him get his confidence back. Work with Coach Stone, work with the pitching staff, and really get himself back. I've seen him play. He's talented, and I want to see him succeed, and I think if he works on it, he'll definitely be successful.
All right, well, we're looking for them to improve offensively, on the pitching mound, defensively, wherever they can improve. They definitely need to do some things as they get into the heart of this A10 schedule. So that'll be all for us. Thank you, Tommy, and thanks for watching us right here on Channel 19 for this episode of UMass Sports Weekly. Please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, wherever you want to follow us, just follow us. We'll see you right here, same time, same place next week. Have a good night, UMass. And we're tossing these one more time.